Well, local community leaders and groups are banding together in an effort to counter hate and violence in the capital. CTV's Megan Shaw is live at City Hall with the details. Megan, what's this all about?
Michael, so it's a very big community effort that's going on. There are about 30 organizations that have signed on to join this initiative to end hate in the capital. And they say hate is actually on the rise, and it has been since 2017. So they were talking about the need to do this now more than ever. Now, this included the new police chief, Mayor Jim Watson, who spoke out against this today. And so that was the pledge that these groups made today. It's called United for All. And we've spoken to several members who are part of it, and we will have more coming up.
It is a great pleasure for me to welcome you all here today and to unveil a new partnership and a coalition that will be known as United for All. There are now, I believe, 32, certainly more than 30 diverse organizations, as we can see from those who are gathered with us here today, who are committed to supporting the work of the coalition. The journey to form this group came from a desire for the community to be better for everybody, to address, to overcome hate, violence, and exclusion. And it comes at a time when we cannot take for granted the blessings that we have as a community. It comes at a time when we find that there are challenges all around us, but it comes at a time when we want to appreciate that we are as progressive and forward-thinking a community as we can possibly live in a time in our history when that is important. We come together in the spirit of recognizing that this requires us to reaffirm our values and to work at being a better community every single day. When you think of the kinds of challenges that in recent years, it certainly shows us there are things that we can do to work towards creating a more inclusive community. I don't know that he's joined us yet. There was a large crowd here, but I was hopeful that my friend and mentor, Rabbi William, might be here today. But I think of him often in the context of some of the challenges our community has faced. He has been someone who has stepped forward, or who was looked upon to step forward in moments of crisis for our community. He is, I think someone has referred to him before as our healer-in-chief. And I believe in many ways this gathering today and the work that we will undertake is a tribute to Rabbi Lopez, who has just walked in the door. Rabbi, I'm just going to say some wonderful things about you. Thank you for joining us. As we all know, the work of building a strong coalition to address a complex issue like this does not happen overnight. And indeed, I want to pay tribute to someone who is also in the back of the room, one of United Way's community developers, Abid John. Abid? Abid, I will say without I hope embarrassing him, that the vision that seems today such a common sense, natural undertaking for a community of this kind to come together, that this was, in his words, the hardest thing he has done in his career. To meet with over 30 organizations and many more to come to bring them together has been a plus 2-year undertaking for United Way and for Abid, who has led us. I know that many of you, when you have greeted him today, have done so warmly. It's because he is the one that has, on the strength of his personal efforts and on behalf of United Way and our community, built the relationships that bring us here today and the work that we build on. But let me first turn to our Mayor. Thank you again, Mayor, for your leadership and for your hosting us this morning to say a few words about the coalition.
Great, thank you very much, Michael. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue à votre hôtel de ville. Welcome to your City Hall, and thank you, Michael, for, forgot to mention one person we should thank is your leadership as president of United Way. To these distinguished members of the panel here, my colleague Nelson King, Deputy Mayor Laura Dudas is with us, Dawn, our General Manager, the City of Ottawa, our President Chief Peter Slowly, my former colleagues Mark Taylor and George Brown are with us as well. Today we have another example of community taking action. Nous sommes réunis aujourd'hui, nous sommes prêts à agir. In recent years, sadly, Ottawa has seen a sharp rise in hate crimes and hate speech towards religious and cultural groups, Indigenous community members, the GLBTQ community, and many more. And according to Stats Canada, police reported hate crimes in Ontario increased by 67% in 2017. With much publicized acts of hate and violence in our community, a group of community leaders and agencies, most of whom are here today, gathered to look closely at the issues and begin to solidify an approach to end this kind of hate in our society. Led by the City of Ottawa, United Way East Ontario, Ottawa Police Services, and joined by many diverse organizations, community groups, religious organizations, and volunteers who have dedicated much time to overcome hate and violence in our city by reaching out to some of the marginalized communities in Ottawa. The coalition is known as United for All, and we know that when we work together, we are stronger. It will not be easy. These kinds of things take time, but the coalition is committed to tackling this issue. Today, we're standing together and working towards a citywide plan to deal with the issues that confront us. And still in its early stages, we want to demonstrate that this group, to our city, that we're not standing by while hate, violence, and extremism remains an issue in our community. We will, together with champions and the important organizations that you represent here today, work together to take steps to respond to this ongoing issue. Now, it's great that our friend Yasser Naqvi continues to be very involved in the public arena and served us with such distinction as an MPP, as Attorney General and Minister of Labour. And I'll now ask you to give a warm welcome to Yasser Naqvi, who will talk a little bit.
Mr. Mayor, thank you for your kind remarks, and welcome to everyone who's here. And I'm very thrilled and proud that we as a community are getting together to respond in a firm, in a positive way against hate, violence, and extremism. It feels like just yesterday or 3 years ago that when we met in my office, in my capacity as the member of Provincial Parliament for Ottawa Centre, to talk about how can we better coordinate ourselves to deal with instances of hate, violence, and extremism that, as the Mayor said, is growing in our city, unfortunately. How can we prevent those acts of hate and violence and extremism within our community by reaching out to young people, by working with marginalized communities? And in cases, unfortunately, when those type of events take place, how do we build community resiliency? And that is why we felt necessary and important that we create some sort of a coordination mechanism by bringing various organizations and champions together in what is now will be known as United for All. As the Mayor said, that it is made up of many diverse organizations that will be working together. Our focus over the next little while is to build a city-wide coordinated approach to tackle the root cause of hate and violence. While the planning is underway, the group will also need to look closely at securing sources of funding, including from governments and foundations. We look to use this funding to support the long-term goals of the group to build social resilience by building off or creating a culture of tolerance through education and awareness, programming, research, and advocating to various partners in our community. United for All is supported by some incredible people in our community. It's a table of champions, including Mayor Jim Watson, Ottawa Police Chief Peter Sloley, United Way East Ontario President CEO Michael Allen, CEO of the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario Alex Munter, City of Ottawa Councillors Walson King and Jenna Sutz, journalist and human rights advocate Amira Galabi, CEO of Crime Prevention Ottawa Nancy Bushwell, and criminal lawyer Michael Smith. I encourage you all to please visit unitedforall.ca, where you will be able to follow the progress and the work that we will be doing to hopefully eradicate hate and violence and extremism from our great city. It is now my pleasure to introduce our new Chief of Police as my Chief. I've known Peter for many years. When we worked together. Welcome to your new hometown, Chief of Police Peter Sloley.
the Chief of Ottawa, nothing could please me more than seeing so many community partners from across the sector coming together for United for All. And it's based on a multi-pronged strategy: prevention, yes, law enforcement, and community policing. But we know law enforcement alone could never be a solution on its own. We need a multi-sector collaboration and a whole-of-society approach to address issues like this, particularly issues of hate and violence. I'm pleased that the OPS has been part of this initiative since the initial conversations in 2016. The Ottawa Police Community Development Team has been part of the initial work. Our diversity and race relations staff has also been participating in the visioning exercises. More concretely, Merit has been able to work with United for All and tangibly contribute to effective efforts since late 2017. Again, I'm extremely pleased to see so many partners here, all committed to working together, to counter hate together, to build peace together. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of our first milestones beyond the declaration that we have each other's back moving forward is the signing that has been alluded to by Amira of the United Nations Strong Cities Network Agreement. It is on the table behind us, and when we conclude in a moment, we will just all, from the leadership table, I think, stand in front, give an opportunity to the mayor to actually sign it officially, and actually have everyone as part of the picture. Let me say this about, however, the agreement that we're about to sign. It is signed by municipalities, but it is important, I believe, that the coalition that is standing behind it has equally signed on to it. And I believe that we have, we're, I guess, subject to ratification or validation, is that this will be the largest coalition that stands behind the over 120 cities worldwide that have signed on to the Strong Cities Network. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, it concludes the presentation portion of the launch of United for All. We will gather in front of that. If there's any questions that you have for any of those who have spoken or any others as part of the leadership table, we would be delighted and honored to continue to echo our commitment today to the broader community. So thank you again for participating, thank you for being here today, and thank you for being part